and short trips. But in the late 90s, I bought my first BMW, and I started going to the different rallies. And one of the first rallies I went to, there was a vendor there selling the headlight modulators. And I knew that if I was going to have a problem, it was probably going to be the result of a car not seeing me. So I really was very interested and bought the headlight modulator, and felt pretty good about being seen in the daylight. But as I rode greater distances, we'd travel to Key West a couple times a year. And it was on one of those trips coming back at night with the modulator off and only a single headlight on the BMW. A lady in Glenville, Georgia, decided to pull out, head southbound in the northbound lane. And her basic comment was that she never saw me. She never saw me until I ended up on her hood. And basically, I got the feeling that I needed to have more than just a single headlight. So when I bought my Goldwing, I made sure that all of the lights were on all of the time. And I have a little clip here. I don't know whether I can share what it looks like. Let me see if we can play this.
Down at the bottom, just it says share. There you go.
Okay. So you can see. Can you actually see that?
Yes.
Well, the thing that I found was that the brighter the lights, the better. I changed my low beams in the Goldwing to HID headlights. And on the Tenere, I ordered some Clearwater lights, and they're like 3,000 lumens of light. And they have a nice feature where if you use your high beam, they go automatically on high. And if you're not using your high beam, it'll dim down to a much lower intensity. But my feeling was that we really need to have more lights and be more visible in that exercise to avoid the conflicts. But I think the brighter the lights, the better.
Are you talking about daylight?
Can't hear you, Scott. You're muted.
Riding, or both?
Well, I think that the modulator kind of takes care of the daylight hours, but you need to have multiple lights at night for those occasions when people just don't pick up that you're a motorcycle.
Yep.
I've got modulators on my ST13, and I had them on my ST11 too. Also put aftermarket horns in both to make them louder.
Now, I had initial problems back in the early 90s where the police officers weren't too up on the laws, and you occasionally get pulled over. Now, I never got a ticket, but the guys weren't convinced that when I told them it was legal. They just tell me to, well, turn them off and, you know, again, I think that over the past 10 or 15 years, it's changed quite a bit. I haven't been pulled over in quite a long time.
Yeah, I just carry the law in the pocket, so you can fold it out and show it to them.
I actually had a letter from the Maryland State Police that basically said that it was legal.
Good.
I
I had a
copy
friend that,
of the law that says it's legal here in Virginia and had it laminated, so I carried it with me everywhere.
Yep.
I had a friend that got pulled over in Alberta just for running his high beam during the day.
That's lame.
They told him that was illegal. He almost got written up, and he figured it may have been because he had a California license plate, but it was he almost got ticketed. What do you think of the yellow for the Clearwaters? I have some smaller Clearwaters on my Beamer, and I've got the yellow lights, and my wife has just the clear BMW lower running lights, and people are always commenting on how much brighter they find mine, and I don't know if that's a function of them being Clearwaters or the yellow really does seem to draw attention.
I'm sure it would draw attention. I think the brightness is so dazzling. A couple years ago, I was in a rally, and one of the fellas had some Clearwater lights, and I was just amazed at the output that they had.
I also heard we went to actually it was a Clearwater seminar at a BMW rally back in Salt Lake City. And there was a fellow there, not the fellow that's presenting, but one of the attendees commented that supposedly the light that is the most, draws the most attention is a green light. But he also commented that a lot of states that isn't legal because it's too close to the blue. So anyway, I've never seen it.
Well, I think we all want to be safe as we can. And a left-turning vehicle in front of you is the #1 cause of crashes between cars and motorcycles.
Have you had any experience with the flicker lights on the back? Are you familiar with those? They're it's just a little strip that goes. I've got it right beside my license plate, and they just have a. I mean, I don't know how to describe it other than a flicker. They don't really flash. They do when you hit your brake. You can again program them to flash a few times and then go on full. But just as you're driving, when you get a little bit to the side, again, when I see my wife's, I get a little bit to the side. It just gives almost like the light's vibrating. That again is supposed to draw your attention. I'm not sure how well it works.
I know on my Tenere, I have a hookup where the turn signals, when I put the brakes on, all the turn signals flash 3 times and then go on steady. And that seems to be noticeable. On the Goldwing, I actually made my trunk lights wigwag. They alternate back and forth on the trunk of the Goldwing.
Cool. All
I have a
right.
yellow bike.
Okay, Scott, are you ready?
I am. I was just going to mention this other product I've seen called Brake Free that is a stop lamp that's on the back, fastens on the back of your helmet. And they're in prototype right now in the Indiegogo campaign. But it's a smaller percentage of the collision potential. So anyway, something that's in the works.
I'm waiting for those to come out. I ordered them.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a smaller fraction of where the collisions actually come from compared to the front 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. But still, the high stop lamp kind of thing like that's a good idea. So Linda is hinting, she has tasked me with doing the inspiration for the day. And in thinking about this, I'm suggesting that you consider evolving your ride with gratitude and curiosity. That's gratitude for the past, and then curiosity about the future of motorcycling, because our sport is not a static one. For perspective, my first bike was a 77 RD400 two-stroke with a Kickstarter. And there was no side stand safety switch. So every time I'd take a left out of the driveway, I'd get a big surprise if I forgot to put my kickstand up. Get that bam, damn, it's crazy. It had a kickstart, so sweaty in the leathers trying to get the damn thing started in the summer. Terrible front brakes, the handling of an obsolete dirt bike, and it was a little bit wheelie prone with the tall first gear, otherwise stalling. So all the ingredients that make it a wonderful first bike, because I learned so much about what I'd appreciate later on. Now, by comparison, subsequent and current bikes, you've got integrated front and rear braking on a lot of bikes, the higher end stuff that we tend to be riding, to avoid sliding the rear from over braking. A lot of us have ABS for when we're not at our best. Electric start is almost completely universal now. And then fuel injection and catalytic converters that make starting easier and make group rides less stinky if you're not the lead dog in the pack. Also, RAM mounts, Bluetooth, GoPro, let us share our rides verbally and visually, and USB chargers keep all of our toys powered up, and GPS keeps us from getting lost, except for maybe John, right? But he's not even on, get the benefit of that remark today. So, also the aftermarket horns, the headlight modulators we were just talking about. But it's not stopping there. Motorcyclists keep moving on, so encouraging you to stay curious about the sport, stay learning. Some of the cool things on the horizon I've heard about are the latest ABS units that have inertial measurement units, or IMUs, in them that work to minimize tire sliding even in turns while you're banked over hard. Electric bikes are getting closer and closer to mainstream reality. Zero is getting a lot of market share now. Harley's got the Livewire coming up, and there's Energica. So those will be probably a part of our future. And then smart cars that communicate with each other are starting to impose some of that technology into the motorcycling world with this app that's in beta stages right now called Ridar. And it takes a signal from your phone that is kind of your transponder for these smart vehicles so they can see each other. So you can download Ridar if you want in beta right now. I'll throw it in the notes in a moment. And also, there's a lot of manufacturers that are working on self-balancing models equipped with gyros. Other motorcycle manufacturers are doing more with three-wheeled bikes like the Can-Am, the Slingshot, the MP3, and the new Yamaha Niken. So a lot of things changing there. And since I teach moto safety, that's one thing we can tell learners about. You don't even need to have an M1 license. You can just ride with the Class C if it's got 3 wheels on the ground, at least in California. And even new rider training is changing with approaches like online and blended classes and VR apps like Be Crash Free that can reduce the risk and increase the availability of rider training so we can learn to ride better, as well as having newer technology. So sum it all up, then a lot has changed, more big changes are coming. I encourage you to stay curious, keep learning, and keep riding.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, so Adina, are you ready? Oops. Adina.
All right. Thanks so much, Linda, for having me, first of all, and thank you, everybody, for being here with me tonight. I did want to start the presentation real quickly with a little bit of background on myself. I am new to this role. I just became an annual giving officer about 3 months ago. However, I'm not new to Rotary. I started with the support center back in January of 2014. So I've been here for a while. The support center is a great background to have because I was able to learn everything about Rotary and the foundation through that position. So anytime you call into the support center for assistance on points or giving or anything about the foundation, you are speaking to one of my former colleagues. Let's see here if this is going to work for me. Here we go. Just briefly putting up the mission of Rotary Foundation up here, and that's to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. So we have 1.2 million Rotarians worldwide, which are connected because they share the same vision for the future, just as you do. The Rotary Foundation helps make this vision a reality. It transforms your gifts into projects that change lives both at home and around the world. As the charitable arm of Rotary, we tap into a global network of Rotarians who invest their time, money, and expertise in our priorities. Our foundation grants empower Rotarians to approach challenges such as poverty, illiteracy, malnutrition with sustainable solutions that leave a lasting impact. This slide here, I put up a picture of some individuals from the Rotary Club of Troy, which is also in your district, and just a project that they are a part of, just to show how district grants can do good within our own communities. So here, the Rotary Club of Troy did a district grant last year where they delivered 1,000 meals for Thanksgiving to individuals within the community. They're repeating that district grant again this year. I'm not sure how many they intend to deliver, but it has been approved and they will be doing the same thing this year. Another example, it comes from Rotary Club of Royal Oak, and they've been approved to pack and distribute food for 200 children on a weekly basis who have food insecurities on weekends. So these are just two examples of how other clubs within District 6380 are using these district funds to make a difference in the community. A little bit of bragging about the Rotary Foundation and Rotary International. In 2018, so this year for the 11th year in a row, we've received 4-star rating through Charity Navigator. They are the largest and most prestigious independent evaluator for nonprofits in the U.S. So this places the foundation in the top 1% of U.S.-based charities for adhering to good governance, best practices, and consistently executing its mission in a financially responsible way. Sorry to interrupt. I can't see any comments, so if you're sending me anything, I'm sorry, and I'm not responding, that's why. I apologize. So what is the makeup of the Rotary Foundation, and how do Rotarians such as yourself fit in? Well, we have the 3 funds that our contributions mainly go to. The first is Polio Plus, and Polio Plus supports just that, polio eradication. Rotary and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation work together to end polio now. Every dollar that a Rotarian gives or Rotary commits towards polio is matched by additional $2 from the Gates Foundation. So these contributions to Polio Plus accrue Paul Harris Fellow recognition amount, and they are eligible for foundation recognition points as well. The next one is the endowment fund, and the endowment fund offers donors a way to ensure a strong future for the Rotary Foundation. So the gifts that go to the endowment fund are professionally invested, with a portion of the earnings used each year for purposes specified by the trustees and the donors. The principle of your gift is never spent and is held in perpetuity. Any contribution that you make to the endowment fund will not accrue recognition amount towards Paul Harris Fellow and foundation recognition points. The last fund is the fund that I help support, and that's the annual fund. Contributions to the annual fund support Rotary's work today. This is the fund I work with primarily. It's the main source of funding for Rotary grants and activities. It includes district and global grants, and contributions to this fund do go towards your Paul Harris Fellow recognition and accrue foundation recognition points. So just briefly how it's split up. Let's say a donor makes a contribution of $1,000. 50% goes into the World Fund and 50% goes, and I'm sorry, let me back up for just a second. $1,000 contribution to annual fund share. 50% will go into almost like a savings account and be held for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, that money is made available to fund your projects or your district's project. The other 50% goes to the World Fund, and this is the money that Rotary uses now to fund projects today. Your support of the annual fund translates into the district and global grants used by your club to help fund those projects that change lives. Several years ago, we did create a campaign called Every Rotarian Every Year. I'm sure at this point you guys said you've been around for a while and that you're familiar with Every Rotarian Every Year. So it's based on a simple idea that if every Rotarian gave something every year, there would be nothing that the foundation couldn't accomplish. A statistic that surprises most of us and most Rotarians is that only 1/3 of our 1.2 million members give to the Rotary Foundation. It's hard to imagine, or it's actually would be wonderful to imagine, what impact we would have if 100% of Rotarians gave any amount, no matter what it be. So one way that you can do that is through Rotary Direct. Rotary Direct is our recurring giving program. And through Rotary Direct, you can make contributions monthly, quarterly, or annually. And it's automatically taken out of a credit card, debit card, or there's also an option to have it withdrawn from your checking account. So this is done automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to send a check to us. You don't have to call into the support center to have them take your contribution. You set it up and you go. And it's actually how I give to the foundation is through Rotary Giving on a monthly basis. And I set it up way back and I don't even think about it anymore. Other options that you have are to donate online at rotary.org/donate. You can also speak with your club foundation chair. And I mean, it's a little bit harder for you guys since you're an e-club, but to give a check to your club foundation chair. And you can also mail a contribution form to the foundation. And those are available on myrotary.org. No matter how you choose to give, I hope you'll join me in supporting our foundation with a gift to the annual fund this year. Remember, gifts of any size do have a big impact when they're leveraged through our foundation and our network of Rotarians here and around the world. As you can see here, we have just a small sampling of what different amounts of contributions can do. So now to the recognition part of giving. Clubs are recognized and individuals are recognized. Clubs can be eligible for up to 5 banners. The first one is the Every Rotarian Every Year Club banner, which recognizes—
May I interrupt in just a second? My apologies.
No problem. How can I help?
Your previous slide, can we have a copy of that one, please? Or may I have a copy of that one, please?
This slide?
Yes.
This one? I can provide a copy. I believe everyone, there is a mailer going out with something similar and an email coming up in the next few weeks, but I can provide this. That's not a problem. I can send it over to Linda and then she can share it with you.
It would be useful as I routinely give recognitions, and this would be very helpful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll make sure you get that. Okay, so going back to the Every Rotarian Every Year Club banner, it recognizes clubs with an average of $100 in giving per member. This doesn't mean that every member has to give $100. Every member has to give at least $25 to the annual fund with an average across the club of $100 to the annual fund. The second one is the 100% Foundation Giving Banner. The 100% Foundation Giving Banner is similar, except it's not intended solely for the annual fund. It's giving to any foundation, to any fund within the foundation. So it's the same parameters, $25 per member with an average of $100 for the club. The 100% Paul Harris Society Club banner recognizes clubs in which all members contribute at least $1,000 to the annual fund, Polio Plus fund, or approved global grant during a given Rotary year. This one is a little bit harder to achieve. I think worldwide we had 3 clubs achieve this banner last year. And then the
that means each member contributed $1,000?
Each member was a member of the Paul Harris Society and contributed $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had 3. We had 1 in the U.S. and 2 international clubs achieve this banner last year. And then the 3 clubs in each district that give the most per capita to the annual fund are also awarded with the top 3 per capita giving banner. And finally, the 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club banner recognizes clubs where every active member is a Paul Harris Fellow.
How many of those are there?
Oh, we have a lot of those. I don't have the exact number for those, but that's easily achievable because it's a one-time recognition. The first 4 are annual, and the 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club is a one-time. So once your club achieves it once, they don't have to maintain that 100% Paul Harris Fellow.
If I may also interject, there's about 4 or 5 clubs in our district, including Rory and Judy's and my former club, that had achieved this at one time. And knowing the numbers in our own club right now of our regular members, we're not that far away from being able to achieve it for this club. There's about 6 people that are not Paul Harris Fellows, 6 or 7. So it's possible.
And so when you get there, either your district governor or your club president, club foundation chair can get in touch with me, and I can connect you to the foundation research team who verifies that and then issues that banner to you. Okay. The next slide is just a snapshot of all the recognition that we offer. Providing recognition opportunities allows us to thank our donors for their generous support. It also provides additional incentives for giving and can inspire others to give as well. I'm going to highlight some of the recognition opportunities that Rotary has. One of the best known that we just mentioned, obviously, is the Paul Harris Fellow. An individual becomes a Paul Harris Fellow when they earn 1,000 points either through their own giving, when an individual transfers points to them, or through a combination of both. You earn these points when you donate to the annual fund, Polio Plus, or an approved global grant. We also have the Paul Harris Society, which we mentioned briefly as well, and that's a commitment to give $1,000 annually to the annual fund, Polio Plus, or an approved foundation grant. So this is just a commitment. It's not something that you're kicked out of if you don't meet that commitment every year, and you do receive that backer that says PHS that you put behind your Paul Harris Fellow. When you have accumulative donations that reach $10,000, you become a major donor. Major donor is through cash giving only, so it's not points and giving like the Paul Harris Fellow. And major donor can be a joint recognition. So a husband and wife or partners can achieve this recognition together through their giving, unlike the Paul Harris Fellow, which is an individual recognition. At $250,000 is Arch Clump Society, and again, that's a joint recognition as well. If you include the endowment fund as a beneficiary in your estate plans, or when you donate $1,000 or more to the fund outright, you become what's called a benefactor. And then when you give $10,000 or more via your estate plans, you become a member of the Bequest Society. Some of the resources that we have are our website, which is rotary.org. Our Rotary Foundation Reference Guide, which has a lot of this information available in there as well, and that's available at shop.rotary.org. And then the Support Center at 8669-ROTARY or through Rotary Support Center at rotary.org. They are a team that has been certified as a Center of Excellence for the past 2 years, and I believe is working on their 3rd year now. So they are our front lines, and typically the fastest answer you're going to get is through the Support Center and by calling the Support Center, because they are in the office Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. Central to 5 p.m. Central. So that's that team there, and this picture was taken while I was actually in the Support Center, so I'm in the front there squatting with the gray and white shirt. I know my video isn't working, so you get to see a picture of me. And that's what I have for this evening, and I do want to just thank you for your time and for your commitment and for having me come and present to your club tonight. And I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Anybody? Does anybody have questions for Adina? No?
Just wanted to comment, this is really timely because we're talking about the same thing in my primary club in Oakland, California.
Thank you.
Just curious, how do you award banners to an E-Club?
The banners are sent to district governors in October-November timeframe. So the district governor then awards it. Who would house the banner would probably be up to your club, but it is sent to the district governor.
You flag an E or fly an E banner, I guess.
Yeah. You could post it to your website.
There you go.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? No? You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. Thank you so much for doing that too. I know it took us a while to get to the point where we could actually have a meeting.
Thank you for having me. You guys are my first presentation as an annual giving officer, so I hope I provided some information that's helpful to you.
Do we find Rotary Direct on the myrotary.org portal?
So I'm glad you asked that question. Our online giving has been updated and improved, so it is on there. It used to be that you could sign up on there, but you couldn't make changes on there. In May, that platform has been upgraded, so now you can sign up for Rotary Direct on myrotary.org, and then if you have changes to your credit card or want to make changes to your giving, that can all be done online. You don't have to send an email or call in or contact someone to get those changes made. When you sign into myrotary.org and go to your profile, there's going to be a little option on your profile page that says Donor Self-Service, and that's where you would go to sign up for Rotary Direct.
Perfect. It's on my to-do list, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Well, thank you again, Adina. I'm sure we'll
You're very welcome. If you guys need anything, feel free to contact me anytime.
Okay, and you're going to send your PowerPoint to me?
Yeah, I'm going to send the PowerPoint, yes, over to you.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Good job. Hey, Mickey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good. Sorry I was a little bit late. Had another meeting and I ran in the door at like 10 after, so.
No worries. How many board members do we have on the meeting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you staying around for the board meeting?
Me?
Jerry, are you?
I'm not unless you need me.
No.
Oh, there we go. There's my voice. Is my video on?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I unfortunately cannot today. I'm on a certain time schedule here in the school. I will say when I take a break, that's it. Can you see that? That's my view outside. And that is a volcano.
No.
The volcano that exploded earlier this spring.
Yeah.
The one that erupted here big time.
Cool.
Where are you at?
Guatemala.
Ah,
And people, in fact, actually, I shouldn't just say it erupted. It pops out a bit of smoke every now and then to remind us it's still there.
Is that on your Facebook too, Jerry?
I think those are on my Facebook.
That's where I've been seeing most of your pics. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing those.
I'm a little more quiet now with going through school. I'm a little tired mentally, so not thinking right. At nights I'm still trying to get caught up on the paperwork with the clinic that we just finished. I have 350 of these to go through and get into a database, and still working with getting all the glasses lined up there. We had a few specials. In fact, I was doing that a little bit while the talk was going on. And I've got to try and arrange to find some ophthalmology doctors, because I have something like, I think, 39 people with with issues with cataracts that need a surgery. Actually, surprisingly, the 5 youngest are all women, and the 2 youngest are 18 and 15 years of age. The one 15-year-old has double dense cataracts. Sadly, that's probably from abuse. Anyway, besides that, I'm going 8 hours a day at least on Spanish, and I've got to go down here in a few more minutes for some more session, as well as eat. So
you'll be speaking fluent when you get back in a couple weeks.
I will be speaking mixto español y inglés.
English.
Street language, huh? Por favor. I'm sorry, Brian.
Spanglish.
Spanglish.
English.
I will survive in Miami. Let's put it that way, huh?
I got by in franglais when I was overseas, so
Franglais.
I could get myself in lots of trouble, but couldn't get myself out.
I'll admit it's difficult being away from Debbie right now, but at the same time, it's something I've needed to do for some time. Is this so? I think this is going to truly jumpstart me to be able to continue to learn this now after this.
Well, good for you.
Cool.
Quite privileged to be able to have the opportunity to do this. So anyway.
How long are you there for, Jerry?
I don't return till December 9th. I'll be in school until November 27th. Then I'm going to Cal. There's a couple of the other doctors, a dentist, a nurse, and a translator are flying in on the 27th or 28th of November. And one of them is going with me to Cal. That's the famous pyramids, Mayan pyramids in Guatemala. And we've got a couple of other days to explore some other things there. And then December 1st, I come back to Guatemala City, and I'm one of the truck drivers. We drive up to the clinic again and do a medical dental clinic for a week. And then I'll be home December 9th.
Wow. Do you take a test or anything for Spanish fluency?
Do I take a test?
Yeah. Is there a test?
Every day. It's called 8 hours long. I don't know. No, I'm just learning here. It's a one-on-one experience in the school. In the mornings, I'm at a desk here in the school. We sit outside in the garden, and I'm one-on-one with one teacher, and she works a lot with my vocabulary and sentence structure and such. In the afternoon, I'm with another teacher, and we walk about the city, going like to the park. Like today, we spent a long time in a I forget now how to say it in English. Anyway, in a plant store basically, and going over all the different trees and flowers and colors and grass, and sentence structure with all that. So it's a mixed max experience, but I do find myself quite exhausted by this time of the day. So, and it's doable right now. So I imagine by next week it's going to be quite pleasant.
Good for you.
And I'm probably going to have to cut out here in a few more minutes. I'll sit and let anybody and everybody else talk.
Okay. Does anybody
Linda,
have?
did you need anything in particular at the board meeting?
No, and I don't think we have enough. I'm gonna put it off till the 28th. Then we'll just do November and December on the 28th.
Okay.
One meeting.
I unfortunately, I know I won't make the 28th. Yeah, I know where I'm going to be. There will not be internet connection.
Worst case, we'll do it when you're back.
You don't have to wait for me.
Okay. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll do it without you.
So there.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
A quick question I'll throw while you're on, Jerry. You don't have to answer this, maybe Linda will, but the committee's spreadsheet that you threw up as a Google Doc, is there descriptions of what activities of each committee are? I signed up for technology, but I have a vague idea of what that means.
I don't have, I can get them.
I'm not sure if Linda's defined it. When we talked about it, the idea is to look for the benefit of the club, how we're operating with the different software technologies, as well as a group discuss what else we might be doing instead, or maybe in addition, I don't know. So the group's, my thought at the time, and Linda, certainly you can comment, but is that that's a group that looks out for us, because we started this club with technologies that I knew, and that may not be the best for us in the long run to help us make things work, but it was just a matter of getting going. So the technology committee would be looking at that sort of stuff, plus dealing with issues of anything comes up, plus maybe being responsible for helping our new members or some of our existing members with the technology we're using.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought. Thank you.
Okay. And it's a good thing you said that, because I haven't signed up yet, so I better do that.
Well, I signed up for stuff. I'm not really sure how to go about it, but I'll try.
I think I put you on there, the ones you wanted.
Yeah.
I think
I think I was a pioneer, and I said I'll sign up as long as somebody else signs up with me. So.
I think it's important that we get through somehow meeting and getting started in each of these committees and get going, and get into some sort of practice thereof within the committees themselves. We tried to do this a year ago, but it was premature.
Okay.
Now it's important to us as a club, and so I do keep this meeting open 24/7. So if a committee wants to get together, they can always just email each other and use this this particular meeting number to log in and meet together if they wish.
Cool.
Mickey, how's it going with your job hunt?
I haven't been looking too hard. I just aggressively started about a week ago. I had my very first interview, and it's an hour away. Good job, but I don't know if I'm ready to hop in the car on a snowy day. After working for 8 years out of the house, it's getting kind of tough. But yeah, there's a lot of folks out there looking for my talents. Bad news is nobody's in Perrysburg so far. So and remote's hard to do. So we'll figure it out. Got a lot of stuff to keep me busy at the moment in the house. So we're renovating and redoing the bathroom and a couple other rooms. So I'm not without things to do at the moment. When I get bored, then I'll really get cracking on that. But yeah, no, if anybody knows of anybody that's looking for a ace #1 procurement person, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm in search mode right now too, so I got some leads in biotech if you want to head that way, Mickey.
All right.
Scott, are you locked into where you live right now?
Not really. If the company's right, I'll move. There's prospects down in Southern California. No job openings right now, but I'm keeping in touch with a lot of my old buddies who are now in Thermo Fisher. And international is totally an option for me too. I'm interested in that.
Any issues
We've
with
got,
Navy?
got friends at NAMSA. Have you checked into them yet?
No.
Well, take a look at them on the website, and if there's somebody you're interested in, let me know. I happen to know the family that owns the company.
NAMSA is
North American Medical Science Association or something. NAMSA.
Scott, you have any issues with Navy? I mean,
California
with
brand.
snow?
any issues with what? Was that last question?
I said you have any issues with my internet's falling apart. You have any issues with Nieve? Snow?
Nieve? I'm not following, sorry. Yeah, shoot me a message or something like that, but yeah, I'm getting a follow-up with a lot of folks who know me from inside Thermo Fisher and then some within Illumina, but the rest of it is kind of a work in progress, and how much do I have to reinvent myself at this point in my life?
Scott, I'm going to send you are you on LinkedIn?
I am, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to send you an invite on LinkedIn.
Thank you. I'll look for it.
Anybody else have anything they want to share? No? Keith, you want to do the four-way test? Wherever you are.
I can. In the things we think, say, and do, 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendship? And 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And of course, 5, will it be fun?
Good job.
I like
Okay.
5 best.
Yeah. Thanks, Adina, for joining us, and Jerry.
Thank you for having me.
Might have you back again. Jerry, all the way.
Anytime.
Perfect. Okay, no meeting next Wednesday. I think we'll do the board meeting in 2 weeks on the 28th, so we'll keep that one off, and then I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Thank you,
everyone. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adios.
Adios, amigo.
See you later.